Hello and welcome to TreblD. In this video we'll be showing you how to quickly create a professional architectural model for an upmarket apartment building using SketchUp. The entire model was completed in less than 2 hours. Step 1 is to create the first apartment. We're going to use TreblD modules. We'll start off with this living room. Now drag the kitchen into place and convert the dining setting into a 4-seater to replace the island bench. Drag and drop the bathroom. I'm going to make this bedroom a touch larger by moving the end wall out. And now we just flip and move and rotate things around and get it looking the way that we want. This stage of the process took about 10 minutes. When we're happy with the layout, we move on to step 2, which is shell explode and fine tuning. We explode all our modules and convert the walls into one group to make it easier to edit. Now slide any missing walls into place. Explode our windows and push the faces. Then clean up our excess line work. We're going to thicken up the outside walls. Tidy up the text. And fine tune our furniture. This step takes about 10 minutes. Step 3 is to create our balconies. So we just use our standard TreblD deck module and push-pull it into place. I'm going to create a perimeter tile with the offset tool and apply some paint. Now for the balcony posts, I'm going to modify this post component. We'll drop it into place onto some guide posts that I copied in from the living room. Now we make the post unique and push-pull it into shape. I'll pull it out to match the wall thickness and make it a bit bigger, about 1/2 metre or 18 inches wide. I'm also going to include a couple of beams as part of this component. Now I'll use this pergola beam to create a shade batten for the balconies. And now we copy the shade batten to the other end of the balcony and type in \35 to make 35 copies of the battens. And now we use this glass handrail from the missing out area and create 3 posts and resize the glass to suit. Now we take a copy of this standard flat roof to use for the balcony roof and push-pull it into place. Now I'm going to take this shade batten to create a screen for the balcony. Once we've got the battens in place, we group them all together. So it's taken us about 20 minutes to create the balcony and it's looking good. So now all our balconies are done. We've grouped them together with the apartment and it's time to convert our apartments into components. Basically there will be 2 types of apartment. One type has a roof and the other doesn't. This one will have the roof, so I'll call it outer type. And now we create a copy. We grab it by the guide post and move it in the red direction by 3 grid squares, which is 5.4 metres or 18 feet. And now we move it 1 square, which is 1.8 metres or 6 feet in the green direction. Now we select the new apartment and choose Make Unique, and we call it Inner Type. So now I'm just going to drag across a screen wall for the inner type to separate the balconies. And now create another copy of the inner type apartment using the same staggered pattern. Now we'll move on to the outer type apartment, which will have the roof. So I'll just take a look at the present scene and also the floor plan. And it's all looking good, so we're good to go to make copies of the other 9 apartments. We'll do the copying in the shell explode scene because there's less visible geometry and things are going to move a lot faster. So once again, we copy it in the same staggered format, move it over 5.4 metres or 18 feet, and now lift it up 3 metres or 10 feet. And now for the outer apartment. We'll grab it by the bottom and move it over in the same pattern, and we type ×2 to make another copy. Now we select all, copy, and move it in the red direction 9 grid squares, which is 16.2 metres or 54 feet. Now we flip it in the red direction to create the mirror image. So there's the wall missing in the centre, and we just put that in with a simple push-pull. And now we put the roof on. We just use this standard flat roof group and push-pull it into shape. And now we make a copy, open up the outer group apartment, which is of course a component. So we paste in place the roof, and it appears in all the other copies of the outer compartment, even the mirror imaged ones. And we do the same for the roof over the living room and kitchen, and it's all done. Adding the roof, creating the components and making the copies took about 20 minutes. And now it's time to create the underground car park. We select the entire building and lift it up 3 metres or 10 feet. Now take a copy of the component we made earlier for the balcony, select Make Unique and use it as the posts and beam for the basement car park. So we move our copy down 3 metres or 10 feet and make a copy for the other corner and flip it over to suit. We then make another copy for intermediate columns, make them unique and push-pull them into shape. Now we just make the 4 columns into a group. Now move them over 3 grid squares, which is 5.4 metres or 18 feet. Now select ×5 to make copies for the rest of the columns. The columns on the far end get flipped over as required, and there's our car park done. Took about 10 minutes. Now we'll move on to the stairwell. We use this standard 2-flight module and alter it to suit. Get rid of the doors first and adjust the mid-landing and stairs so we can get an elevator shaft into the centre of the stairwell. Now we push the walls away so that we're left with 4 posts at the corners. Now fatten them up to 600 by 600 or 2 feet square. Then we just adjust the floor as required. Now we make the whole thing into a component and move it into place. Now I'm going to make some screens to go down the sides of the stairwell. So now we take a copy of the entire component and lift it up 3 meters or 10 feet. Hit ×3 to make more copies. So now we'll just create the elevator. We'll use this TreblD bathroom and delete the stuff we don't want. And now paint the shell and drop it into place and use the scale tool to adjust the size. We'll just import some double doors from the component browser and scale them to suit. We use a standard roof profile to create a pyramid roof and drop it into place. The entire stairwell and the elevator process took about 40 minutes. So now it's time to finish off the car park retaining walls. Just use the rectangle tool and pull it all into shape. Lift up the retaining wall 1500 or 5 feet. And we form the finished ground level by using push-pull. And now drag and drop the TreblD pool into place. So we'll put a roof over the spa by using the top level of the lift shaft. Make it unique and knock it into shape. And that's it, it's all done. This process took about 15 minutes. So there we have our 12 apartments. The whole thing took about 2 hours. So let's take a look.